Hi friends, it's Friday, which means it's time for another Patreon exclusive. This week I'm going to be taking a look at the vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sewer playset. So that's going to be a lot of fun going through that. That is available to patrons only. So if you are not a patron, you can still enjoy videos on this channel. I'll be adding them every Saturday, and when time permits, bonus episodes on Sunday. But if you are a supporter on Patreon, you get a couple extra rewards. I've had a few questions about Patreon. A couple people aren't familiar with it and they're not sure what's involved, how to use it. So I just wanted to take a moment to give you a quick rundown of Patreon. Now, I didn't know anything about it either until I signed up for it last December. And now that I've used it for a few months, I can tell you I honestly love it. One of the things that supporters or potential supporters don't like about Patreon is that they say they don't like how much Patreon takes from the creator, the percentage. Well, after using Patreon for a couple months, I can say it's worth every penny. Patreon is such a wonderful platform to not just share videos, share creative content, but it's a wonderful social media platform, and it reminds me a lot of some of the other social media platforms before they kind of went off track, before the trolls started to take some of the fun away from those things. On Patreon, it's not just about posting the Patreon exclusives and sneak peeks at my upcoming videos, but the members are, the tribe members, Patreon tribe, are interacting with each other. We have a community wall there, which I think is awesome. I have the main feed of the Patreon page, which I can post my content, pictures, videos on, but there is a community wall which I can't post on, and I think that's awesome because that is dedicated for the community, for the Patreon tribe members to interact with each other, where they can suggest topics to discuss, or what's going on lately is people are sharing pictures of their collection. And I think it's wonderful because it really is a safe haven. Just wonderful people on there. Passionate, like-minded people, respectful, happy, joyful people who enjoy their hobby. And it's been one of the big bonuses to me to be able to watch that community wall and see people interact with each other in such a positive way. No sarcasm, no cynicism. One of the most common responses I get on my videos on my channel is the positivity. People really appreciate the positivity, the endearing way in which I play with my toys or showcase my toys. And that's what's going on the Patreon page as well. So it's not just about flipping a guy who does some videos on YouTube a couple of bucks to support what he's doing. It's about joining a community of positive, like-minded people. So if you're in a position to help out, head over to the Patreon page. There are a number of different tiers with different rewards depending on what you want to contribute. The $1 contribution tier is called the Corporal. All of the tiers are G.I. Joe themed because I'm such a huge G.I. Joe fan. And the Corporal tier will get you access to the Patreon exclusives, including the latest one for the Turtle Sewer, as well as past exclusives like the big Millennium Falcon and our first roundtable discussion on Mint in Box, to open or not to open. And then as you go up, you get more rewards. So the $2 tier, which is called the Sergeant, gets you access to those roundtables, cartoon commentary discussions on Skype. And then the $5 reward, the Master Sergeant, will get you early access to the videos. So everybody else will be watching them on Saturday, but the Master Sergeants get top secret clearance to watch them a little earlier. Whenever I get them done, they'll go up on the Patreon. I try to get them at least one day ahead, but sometimes I can get it a little bit more than that, so you'll be able to watch those early. And then a level up from that is the General level, and the General gives the orders. So as a General level contributor, you can make a request for a review of anything in the 80s Toy Museum or in another part of my collection elsewhere in Casa de la Mercy, or a topic of discussion, a top 5 list, or anything else. Really anything. It doesn't even have to be 80s or pop culture related. Anything that you can suggest, I'll do a video on that. And then the final tier for contribution is the ninja level, the stealthy ninja, and that comes with a lot of cool rewards, such as an interview with me or a private chat on Skype if you so desire, your own personal tour of the 80s Toy Museum if you are ever in the area, or even if you're never in my neck of the woods in the Great White North. We'll hop on Skype and I'll give you your own private tour. It's almost as good as being there. If you want to check out the He-Man section, then we can walk over to the He-Man section or the Transformers section. So lots of cool stuff going on Patreon. And I'm just going to take a moment right now to give a shout out to each and every patron who is supporting the channel. I'm going to go through this list, do my best to pronounce these correctly. Thank you. Huge thank you to Scott Orr, to Joe, Matt Piggott, Shane O, Nicholas Stephen, Josh Apai Anderson, Hill 2, Carl Stitz, Steve Kassan, Hector M. Martinez, Robert Monty, Robert Hayes, Adam Trimborn, Scott Newcomb, Eric Lutz, Michael Proctor, Clint Eisinger, Martin Day, Brent McMillan, Tim Sanfilippo, Brian Van Dragt, Circa Wynn, Sean Smith, The Big Heel, Scott McCullough, Brian E. Zan, Albert Sunday Perry, Luke Wiltshire, Jason Horn, AJ Blake, Larkin Fordyce, Kyle Sompk, hope I pronounced that right, John Stacy, Javier Montero, Anthony Alcaraz, William Logan, Dominic, Kurt M. Johnson, Jake Funk, Chris Lippincott, Ricky Ray, and Matthew Hickling. So big thank you to all of you Patreon supporters for not just financially supporting the channel, but for helping create a really wonderful, positive community. YouTube, we all know, can be sometimes a little bit of a rough place in the comment section. I do my best to go through all of those comments and to delete anything that I feel doesn't jive with the vibe that I'm trying to put out here. And for the most part, those people, they stick to me as their target, but sometimes they try to go after some of the viewers, the posters who comment in the section there. And I do my best to try to make sure that those people won't be able to do that in the future. But I'm really loving the Patreon page for just the overwhelming positivity that's on there. When I post a video on there, a Patreon exclusive, it's really a lot of peace of mind to know that this will go up and it will be appreciated by people who won't nitpick and who aren't mean-spirited, aren't miserable people who are just trying to steal other people's joy. So I really want to thank everyone who's joined the Patreon for bringing some positivity to the page too. I do my best to try to send that out into the world with the videos that I work on, and I'm really grateful to all of the positivity that's being brought back. One of the early videos that I did about joining Patreon, starting this whole thing, I quoted the legendary American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, saying that the love that you gave to me, I will repay you now. And it's just being given back, and it just makes me want to keep repaying you. It's a really wonderful symbiotic thing going on, and it really does remind me of the days of my youth, when it wasn't just all about what can I get and what can I collect. It was about sharing with my friends and them sharing with me, and just everybody having fun together. So I think Patreon has played a really big part in bringing toy fans, pop culture fans, vintage movie and TV fans, comic fans all together, and giving us a really positive, safe platform to just have fun with. All right, that's it for me for the Patreon members. Hope you enjoy this week's exclusive of the Turtle Sewer. And if you're not a Patreon member and you do want to check out this and other exclusives, head over to the Patreon, sign up for $1 a month. That's all it takes. And enjoy the rest of the 80s Toy Museum virtual tour. We are wrapping up. I had been posting those a month apart, and I figured for the last final episodes, let's finish off with a bang and just get the last 3 out 1 week apart. So I hope you enjoy the conclusion of the epic 80s Toy Museum Virtual Tour series. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. If you can't, make a great day. And until next time, Nerdmas Day.